There were massive federal budget cuts last week, which led to a couple thousand jobs lost within National Park Service. And a few of my couples have reached out to me asking if this is going to affect their elopement or how this might affect their elopement. So in case you were wondering the same thing, I just wanted to make a little video about it. Now, I am no expert on national budgets or the inner workings of NPS, but as an elopement photographer, I do understand the process of eloping in the park. And I just kind of wanted to go through how this process might be affected a little bit and what you can do ahead of time to try to make this as smooth as possible. From the research that I've been able to do so far, there's nothing suggesting at this point that they're going to close down the parks to visitors. So it's not to say it couldn't happen in the future, but right now they're going to try to keep all the parks open. What's more likely is we're looking at understaffing, which is probably going to result in less visitor center hours that are open, longer wait times on permits and stuff like that. Also, my assumption that we're probably going to have less park restoration projects going on at the same time. That being said, it is so important to leave no trace when you're visiting these parks, whenever you're visiting the parks, not just at your elopement. But leave no trace is 7 basic principles. I talk to all of my couples about this throughout the planning process. But it's really to make sure that you leave the park just as beautiful as you found it and you don't do any damage to the nature. So the only thing that we are leaving is footprints, and the only thing that we are taking is photos. Some really basic key ones are making sure that you're staying on trails and durable surfaces, not stepping on plants, respecting the wildlife. Please, please, please do not feed, do not pet the wildlife in national parks. Be as respectful as possible to the land because we don't want to add to the park restoration projects that are already happening all over. And as soon as you know where you want to elope, I would suggest applying for your special use permit as soon as possible to really allow the park service to get through the application and make sure that you have plenty of time to apply. You need a special use permit to elope in any national park, so it's really important to look at the national park that you're looking for. Each one has slightly different requirements, but really give park service a little bit of extra time in order to process those applications when they're limited on staff. Obviously, this is all very fresh in the news, so we're not totally sure what's going to be happening in the future, whether or not there will be more cuts. I wouldn't be surprised if there is. But at this point, all we can really do is move forward with the plan. We still want to be able to elope in these beautiful places, but let's be as respectful as possible to the staff when they are working on getting this permitting through. And then let's make sure that we are respecting the land when we're visiting and keeping it as nice and as natural as we possibly can to allow us to continue visiting in the future.